What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. This is a we're going to start today off with reviewing 4 stores from my Patreon group, which is pretty cool. If you guys are in the Patreon, you can get a free store review anytime now. Just email me so I can throw it in the queue, and then we'll go over them on these calls. It's really, really good to go through people's stores and get an idea of what people are selling and what's working for people and what's not, and we can all help each other out. So this is the first store, estate deals. Most likely, this person is a person that cleans out estates. That would make sense. I would expect from the name of the store to find some eclectic stuff in here that is unique. So let's go to their store. Let's see. Estate deals, great logo, great banner. They have a custom store. So you guys can set this up. There are a lot of websites that do it, like 3D sellers. And what they'll do is they make your store look a little bit more like an actual store and not like an eBay store. This looks totally different. The one downside is this probably looks kind of weird on mobile. So let's go ahead and check it out. You can minimize the screen to see what it looks like on mobile. Actually, not too bad. So if you guys want to see what it looks like in your browser, you can just readjust it to see what it looks like on mobile. This one looks pretty cool. So I'm not sure which template he's using, but I like it so far. Latest offers
like
is going to
3D though.
go ahead.
It does look like a 3D seller's template.
It might be. Different categories here. Let's see how many total items. 870 items. So let's look at their sell-through rate. So if you come to the left side, you can actually click on sold to get an idea of how many they sold. Relatively low sell-through rate. Let me see if they have replenishables. So the way that you can tell is if you click on these, sometimes they have more than one, like in this case, more than 10 available. So they sold 2 of these lens wipes in the last 30 days, but it's only going to show up as 1 sold. So this is important when you're looking at people's sold listings. Just because it says 37, they may have sold thousands of items. You have to go into each individual one and look and do the research and see what's doing well for them. Great pictures, great titles. Here, this polo bear hat, I wonder if this is market. This is kind of a bolo. They found 3 of these hats. I find these at Marshall's once in a while. Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Burlington. They'll have polo bear items, sweaters, hats, belts, cufflinks. You want to look for these accessories. This bear, worth a lot of money. You could probably wait and sell this for a little bit more. But it is on sale. Let me see what the other one sold at. $30, and they're declining offers. This is one of those items that I don't think I would have best offer on. Why? I mean, it's a really cool item. They declined all the offers anyway. So why even have that and waste your time? So yeah, I think under $25, omit best offer for the most part because it just takes a lot of time. Let's see here. Hemp oil capsules. Interesting. Wow, 1992 Battle Master sold for $100. That's awesome. One of the categories that you can get buku money for is board games if you know what you're doing. Condoms. Sexual wellness was voted one of the top categories. So if you guys are, obviously I reviewed a huge store with 10,000 sexual wellness products in it, and most of them were BS, like penis enlargement, butt plumper, all these ridiculous things that were questionable whether or not they work. The only thing I thought was great in that store was lubricant. They sell a lot of lubricant, and lubricant to me seems like it's legit. Corkscrew, another board game, or maybe that's the same one. This might have been a non-paying bidder, which is sad. Let's see here. Calculators. This is great. These are like bolos for people who are just getting started. You may want to, store these in your brain when you go and look for things. Apple Watch. Wow. I didn't know the first generation is still worth that much. $73 for the generation 1. Some Nike shoes. This picture is way too dark. Hard to see the item. So these I would consider these shoe photos very garage sale-y. A standard photo, if you were to type in, let's look like Flight Club, just to give you guys an example. This picture right here is retail standard. One shoe, just the right shoe. This looks like a store. So if you look at most retail shops that sell footwear, it's always just the right shoe. So this is like the difference between somebody doing it for fun and somebody doing it as a store. You can see these pictures. That's definitely very different. But you can see still getting $111 for it. That's why, say what you will about eBay. They still are awesome. Okay. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you guys can see the screen share. I'm not sure if it's streaming that. Hopefully it is. Here's some Barbie collectibles. Wow, look at this. 12 watching. That's cool. Again, but watchers you can't pay your bills with watchers. So that can sometimes be misleading because these 12 watchers might be other people selling Barbies. And, just got to pay attention to that. Toner. That must be the brand. These titles look great. Printers, more boots. See, you can see it's in a box, but this looks really cramped. And again, if you just take an extra 1 minute and make the laces look nice, it's a more premium experience. I do like the free expedited shipping though. That's fantastic. Free shipping, 30-day returns, buyer pays for return shipping. I like that. So you can do free shipping or you can do buyer pays return shipping, one or the other. But it's up to your personal preference. I like buyer pays shipping on an item like this because it's going to cost you $12 or $14 to receive this back again, which is very expensive. Okay, a lot of sound equipment.
One of the things I noticed right off the bat is all the different backgrounds and different colors in the pictures.
That's right. See here, let's sort by soonest because sometimes people change their systems. Yeah, so I think this person just got a white background, right? Because you can see these look a lot different. These are the more recent ones are on a cleaner background.
Yeah, that looks good.
Much better. That's a good observation. Here we go. Racing wheel. But again, big store, but not a huge sell-through rate. So let me look through here. It looks like they removed best offer, which is fantastic. These items are okay. You do need a large store. If you're going to be in a state sale store, there's two ways of going about it. Either you can price high and just wait and get a huge store, or maybe auction off some items at the lowest you'll take for it. I find that works pretty decently. So because you can see this person may be running out of space. This is already a pretty big store with only selling a few items per day. Gina's asking the topic for tonight. The topic for tonight is just reviewing some different stores to get an idea of what people are selling. Okay, we're going to move to Javanta 91. This is a newer store. Looks like they're selling car parts. Vortex throttle body. Wow. I don't know. Do you have to put the car? Jeffrey, you might know more about this than me.
You don't have to, but I'm sure it helps.
What car is it? I assume Chevy. I don't know. These are decent photos. I mean, you can see what it is. I think this is like the kitchen or the bathroom floor.
OEM, GM, yeah, that's Chevy.
Oh yeah, I mean, is that in the title?
Yeah,
I guess
GM right there.
I guess
OEM,
GM
GM.
is in the title. Let me see here real quick.
I mean, I guess if you're looking for a Vortex throttle body, you pretty much know what the hell one looks like before you start digging around hunting one down.
That's true. This is crazy.
You don't just up and decide to go looking for one.
So I actually do not know how to help this store because look at this store is doing it right because they look at the watchers. 37 watchers for this harness.
I would just say the same thing I said on the last one. clean up the backgrounds and get that standardized. I mean, that should make a difference either way.
I agree. So this stuff's really expensive. 31 items. Let's look at the feedback.
Probably high rate of return too, I would think.
Could be. Let me see. 31 and 25. So very strong sell-through rate. This is like, in my opinion, for this kind of stuff, they're selling almost, a third of it each month. That's pretty good for stuff that's this expensive. This has more solds than the previous, or around the same as the previous store. With 870 items. 37 sold versus 25 sold, and these items are significantly more expensive. So I wonder where these parts are coming from.
I know here we have these places where you can go out, take your tools into a lot where there are wrecked cars and stuff and just remove parts. Maybe they're going out and doing that, because some of these are specialized parts. They're for cars and things that are going to go bad on certain cars.
I agree. This person looks like they know what they're doing, because these are really unique.
They worked on cars for a long time, it looks like.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. So I don't know how to help this store other than maybe putting the brand. I wonder why there's no brand. Here it says Suburban, Yukon, Escalade. Obviously, it's Chevy or GM. Maybe they encountered an item limit for brand. That can happen. If you sell too many GM parts, they may restrict you for a while. This could be a new account. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, it's not even pulling up their eBay, which is odd. Let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. Member since 2013. That's odd. Only thing I would say is just put the car brand. But again, they have a very strong sell-through rate. This store just needs to be larger. A clean white background would make it easier to see. And also, I prefer square photos so you can get the most of your real estate. Because see, this alternator, it's only taking up about 10% of the picture. There's all these white. What I would do is I would crop this photo so it's just this part right here, so it's easier to see. But these dark, blurry photos, the person still sold 2 out of 5 already. So, it really is a lot about the item and not really the way to do it. Let's go to the next one.
They have a bit of a captive audience.
Mm-hmm. This is Boutique Kevco. This store is in France. So I don't know if anybody in the chat speaks French. Help me out if you can. 500 items in their store. Let's see. I'm gonna guess what the sold is. Okay, so 71 sold out of 494 listed. Let's see here. Looks like plush. Plush is a really cool category. I don't know enough about it, but it's amazing looking at plush toys. Does this comma? I wonder how euros work. Is this like 14.38 euros? Le Creuset, 1972 cast iron. This is awesome.
I've got one of their plants right around the corner.
Yeah, their stuff is awesome. This is very cool.
Top of the line. You pay for it, but it's worth it.
I think so. This is cool stuff. Zachariah can translate. So, just from a basic standpoint, this is a little bit hard to read because it's center. I would definitely do left justified, and I would do left justified and bullet points, because this is very difficult to read. I hate different size fonts. This is hard to read. So if possible, try to make this more uniform and easier to read. Looks like you can make an offer. But this is one of those stores. This looks 100% like a garage sale, right? If you were to go to somebody's house, this is what it would look like. All random things, books. Littlest Pet Shop. Gotcha. I love it. Vintage toys, mugs. So 71 sell through with 490. That's like 25 items selling per month. That's about a 5% sell through. Very, very normal, guys. a sell-through rate for a random store is 5 to 6% always. So if you have everything in your store and no rhyme or reason, and it's listed decently, you should sell 5 or 6% of it, which means you need a massive store to make any real money. But that's okay. DVDs. See, someone had mentioned yesterday what to do with them. You can just lot them all up. Here's 87 of them. Liz is asking in the chat, has anyone had success with Facebook ads to their eBay listings? Yes, but I've only had success when I have more than one of the item. Writing Facebook ads is what I did before eBay, and it's really a lot easier when you have more than one. So, as an example, I was selling Corvettes for a Chevy dealership. So he's like, I want people over 60 years old, usually Caucasian. I want them to live within 10 miles of the dealership. I want them to be involved in car clubs. You can target those people, send them to your site, and that would make sense. But if you only have one item, it's not really worth it to pay for that extra marketing and all that work to get people to do it. I totally do not think it's a good idea unless you have a lot of the same item. So Zachariah, I don't know if you agree with that advice or not. Let's see. I mean, the pictures look good to me. They're not cluttered. They have a clean background. They may be a little bit dark. I don't know much about Littlest Pet Shop. Titles look okay, except for I would put Littlest Pet Shop first. Let's see. Let's look at regular eBay. Littlest Pet Shop and look at the Littlest Pet Shop. Here's one, 4,121 sold. Love it. 6 sold in the last 24 hours. So surprise lot of 10. Whoa. This is cool. So this is one of those examples of a custom bundle. See, this is what I mean by making use of more real estate for the photo. Look how, I mean, even this is this is funny, but look how all the real estate is being used to get the buyer's attention. West Palm Beach, Fast Matrix. This is a huge store. Let's look at there. 5,000 followers. This is a mega toy store. Very cool. Look at all these bundles. This is an example of somebody just doing one niche. So this store, they have a few. This store has thousands of Littlest Pet Shop items. So let's go back and take a look at the see other items. 1,158. Let's see if we can get their feedback number. I guess not. I don't know why the feedback is not working for eBay, but you see this store has 5,000 followers. That's awesome. Okay, let's go back to the search. So it looks like if you want to sell Littlest Pet Shop, you need to let the buyers know you have a lot for sale. These photos right here indicate a lot. Look at this, 1,171 sold. That's awesome. Let's see. 1,500 sold. This is a funny picture. I wonder if they just photoshopped the girl into it. I think so. Does that look real to you guys?
No.
Wow, it's the same person. So this person is crushing the Littlest Pet Shop. Wow, 188 sold. This is kind of blowing my mind. How many of these things sold? 1,200 sold. So guys, it's also important to try to recognize I bet 7 random pieces fits into a flat rate envelope, and that's probably perfect. And they have these little bags that they come in, which is very cute. I like 100% buyer satisfaction. Very smart. And here's another trick of the trade. See, there says one quantity. It's very unlikely they only have one. They sold 1,260 of them, but it makes it look like there's not very many available. So this person really knows what they're doing. This is a very talented seller. Okay, let's go back. So let's go back and look at vintage Le Creuset. and see what we can find. Le Creuset vintage. Whoops, not this person's store. Okay, only 411 pieces. So it is pretty difficult to find. This person doesn't have vintage in the title, or maybe they do. Let's take a look here. Tommy, if I have time, I will review your store at the end. But normally I just do it for my Patreon members. It's $12 now if you guys want to join. Let's look at the sold here. So look how strong this category is. 706 sold with only 411 listed. That's crazy. See, this is one of those categories, guys, that has a really, really, really high sell-through rate. That means it would be like a month and a half for you to sell one if it was priced correctly. It has way more people buying it than there are listed for sale. This has 30 watchers for a vintage Dutch oven, essentially. Let me see here. I'm gonna put Tommy's store in here. Hopefully, we have time to do this in a second. eBay seller. Tommy, I don't know if that's the right store. Wasn't able. Let's see. Buy seller. Tommy, maybe you can put I don't know if you can put a link in the chat so I can find it, but maybe you can do that so I can find it later. Okay, let's review the next store. Next store is odds and ends. So top rated seller, it looks like this person is just getting started, but they know what they're actually, they're just getting started, but they're doing really well. So this store looks like it's just opened in the last few months. They've been a member for a while, but they just started selling seriously. And you can see here 50 feedback in the last month. That's very strong for just getting started. 939 results. Let's see here. 144 sold. So around 50 items per month, but they have to be selling replenishables. One way that you can get an idea is you scroll into their all received feedback and just take a look and see what kind of items they are selling. The number one way to source for eBay is actually on eBay. So buy lots of things and then resell them. As an example, before we leave the Littlest Pet Shop, let's actually go to eBay and search Littlest Pet Shop lot. I'm going to sort by most expensive. Okay, here we go. Wow. $3,600 for 540 pets, 24 playhouses. This is the type of stuff that you would buy in order to create that, those crazy replenishable listings, which is kind of cool. Here's this person's on fire. 4,121 sold. Let's look at this. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're selling more than 5 a day of just this one listing. Very cool. So you can see this person doesn't list every single day. They're just replenishing items like this. So this person might actually buy this crazy lot and do the math and see if it's worth it. Okay, let's go to odds and ends. Odds and ends, I think this is a Canadian store. Looks like they're selling model planes. It's very cool. Model planes, CDs. So another hard goods store. I like hard goods stores a lot. It's just, it's not as tedious as clothing because there's not as many measurements. Thank you, Tommy, for sending an email to me. I will take a look. Email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com and I'll pull up the link shortly for this review. And Dwayne, Jeffrey, if you guys, actually, I've already reviewed Jeffrey's store recently, but Dwayne, if you want your store reviewed now, or if you want to wait, feel free to give it to me. I'll review it tonight.
I'll do that. Send you a couple of them.
Okay. Let's see. A lot of 23.
Love those planes, man.
These planes are cool.
Yeah, especially if you're getting the ones that are grounded now. Like the Boeings that just got grounded, Dreamliner.
Mm-hmm.
Get a hold of a bunch of those because they're not going to sell them since it's been grounded, and then sell them and have them end up being more valuable because they're not flying.
You may want to mute because I can hear feedback from your mic, Dwayne. I got you. Where's the feedback coming from? Where is that coming from?
It's not me, is it?
I don't know where it's coming from. Hopefully it's not. Okay. Let me pull up this. Or Perry, I don't know if Perry's in the chat as well. If you want a store review, let me know. Oh, here we go. Here's Tommy's store. Okay. Yeah, let me finish up this airplane store. Looks okay to me. I would just say it looks like the demand for these isn't that high. So this is cool, but you just may want to add more stuff in your store that sells faster because your sell-through rate, I don't see a lot of these for sale. Okay, let's pull up Tommy's store. TA, get it here. Oh, actually, maybe it's, oh, I found it. Sorry, I found the problem. It was on my end, guys. Okay, here we go. Tommy's store. 3,782 results. Wow, you have a huge store, Tommy. Very large store. Looks like this is probably liquidation or closeout. So Perry, you're talking about that a lot in New Jersey. Of all that stuff's probably this kind of stuff. This is where you can get a lot of the stuff from stock photos. These are all stock photos except for this one. You can see right immediately which ones are stock photos and which ones are not. 22 watching, free shipping, no free returns. Let me see here. Let's look at the sell-through rate. It might be hard to gauge because it's a replenishable store. And let's see, Rex put anything less than 100% feedback turns buyers off. Not really, kind of, but honestly, it doesn't. Let me give you guys an example. Like this is Adidas' eBay store. They have 95% feedback. That's horrible. They have literally thousands of negative feedback, and people still, they still are one of the largest sellers on eBay. So it doesn't stop people from buying if you have the right items. And again, if you look at Adidas' store, it's all stock photos, except for they took them photos themselves. And this is what I mean by a square photo. Takes up the whole real estate, just looks more premium, in my opinion. All right, let's go back to Tommy's store. Let's see here. It doesn't show. Oh, here we go. 1,850 sales in the last 90 days. So very strong store. Awesome. This is including the replenishables. So if you look through here, that one, there's only one. He's in Vegas. Awesome. I might move to Vegas. No income tax, right? No state income tax. This is really cheap, though. This is scary. Tommy, you must really know what you're doing because it is so hard to sell stuff for $10 free shipping, free returns. You have to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed. Open box screws.
Those look like a liquidation product, and they're probably selling at a break even or a loss just to get rid of it. They probably have good stuff where they made the money out.
This is very hard. You're right, Perry. It's very hard. This is an excellent store, though. You can see how crazy the sell-through rate is. It's amazing. Great job. So this is what happens when you start getting a warehouse space and you start taking, this is more of a retail store. This is not really a reseller because, you know, we have 50 pages of solds here. Very difficult to copy this without a really, really strong business. Let's take a look at the store. Featured items. Let's see here. This is so crazy, Perry. Look at this. There's so many of these items that are single SKU, which is so scary to me because the time involved. And also, this looks a little different, right? That's why I think it's important to include an actual photo if you can. Because if you were looking for this hat and you receive this hat, you might actually return it. Because it's not, it looks different to me. Does it look different to you guys? Slightly different.
The pictures are too dark to tell.
That's true. But yeah, yeah, so I would say brighter photos. This also doesn't look like a professional setup. Looks like just a table. I wonder, why are these your featured items? Seems like you have better stuff than this. I would do Levi's wedgie skinny. Dang. Yeah, your photo setup is really weak compared to how strong your store is.
This looks like a lot of Amazon stuff, Amazon liquidation.
Amazon liquidation.
Yeah, and they're probably getting a good deal, probably $2 or less an item.
Yeah, I would say so. This is stuff you can get 90% off or more. But he probably paid up for Levi's. They don't usually, unless they lot it all together. AG is a very strong brand.
Yeah, you get a whole bunch of good stuff and a bunch of junk. They just throw it all in a pallet.
I know, this is scary. Look how much stuff is, like, let's do a search here for and see the breakdown on pricing here. There's 3,783 items. Let's do $30 and see how many of them are under $30. 37. So more than 2/3 of it's under $30. So this is a lot of listing power. Great job, Tommy, on figuring out systems to list, because this is not easy listing this many items. That's how much of it is under $10. Wow, 412 items under $10, and with free shipping. That's crazy. That means if you sold all of these, you'd make like $300 before returns. So this is almost like what Perry was saying on the last call. What do you do with this part of the inventory? It's brand new. Do you list it? Because if you're paying $1 or $2 to list this item, you're kind of hurting, even if you got it for free. It's amazing. I wonder how he's doing it. Is he getting the stock photos in a catalog? Man, this stuff, there's so much of it. You can get it from one thing that people, if you're just getting started with wholesale, you can actually go to macy'sliquidation.com and order pallets straight up. You don't have to, I mean, you have to provide a resale license number, which is usually free. In California, it's free to get a resale license number. But I do want to point out, I'm actually going to stop sharing now. We're going to go back to the actual call. Guys, remember, now that these platforms are filing sales tax for you, you need to do an income or a sales tax report if you get a resale license, because they're going to assume you're collecting sales tax. So you're going to get this bill assuming they're going to assume you owe them taxes. So you have to file that report so that you don't get stuck with the estimated bill. It's going to be very scary too, because they're going to guess really, really high. But we get to look at some interesting models. Definitely collectible models, estate sale models. We had pickers, we had the car parts. We had the this liquidation model. Very, very interesting. Oh, Rex Dex gave me some advice on my car. So yeah, my car got broken into. I did file charge. I don't know what that entails, but they asked if I wanted to file charges. I said yes. So I guess I'll have to wait for the report back from them. But they actually put the kids, they detained the kids for 72 hours before some type of The reason why I asked if I should file charges or not is because the kids already got in trouble with the state. I don't know what me filing charges does, other than I might be able to get some of my damages back.
It enforces the law, and it might have something to do with your insurance.
Yeah, I don't for $240, I don't want my premium to go up. So Tommy is using 4 VAs to list. Very cool. So essentially, if you gave them the UPC code, they could find all the information for you. Perry, that might be the way to go. If you have a list of SKUs and just
do you have a program that you use?
I wouldn't give them a program. This is probably only an eBay store, because here's the thing on so Tommy's doing liquidation niche apparel. I wouldn't sell this on Poshmark or Mercari because the fees are too high. 20% and $6.95 shipping for this type of clothing. That means you have to sell the item for $3 plus.
But all you have to do is type in a barcode, let it pull up everything, throw pictures in there, and list it.
Yep, that's right.
45 seconds and it's up. If you have, depending on the program you use.
Yeah. I
mean, it's somebody else's information, so you change a few things, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting in trouble. But
yeah,
it's all. I mean, that's all it does is pull up second party, third party, fourth party information, and then lets you pick what you want to go with.
This is an interesting. It's kind of like the way I would approach this, because I've had this store before. Is I would approach it as in this part of it just pays for your staff. I don't think you can really earn that much profit because it's expensive. The returns are expensive. So all of these items, you would just let them keep it. If they wanted to return it, you would not pay for return shipping. You can't. On all 400 of these items, you just take a straight loss if somebody returns it. Zachariah, you are welcome to join, but you have to be my Patreon. Otherwise, I just have too many people in this call. At patreon.com/daily refinement. So on another point, I am right now trying to figure out staff, because if I can have somebody in this Zoom room taking care of the people, I think that's a really good way to have people come hang out. Because I was gonna do the live stream from listing, but I have to use my own internet, so I don't have enough data to stream the entire time that I'm on my storage. So I'm not 100% sure how to do that. But if I had a setup where, let's say Zachariah, he is wherever he is, different time zones, we could have somebody in here that's qualified to answer questions 24/7, and then people could hop in and do it, and I'll just come on to 2 times a day. Sustainable frugal living is making it up in volume. Yeah, that's the only way to go. I would be surprised if the return rate in this store is below 3%. With 3% on 700 sales is 24. That's a return every single day you have to deal with. So it does kind of add up when it comes to customer service. Tommy, do any of your VA help you with customer service? Because I did that and it was brutal. Like, I'll pull up the store. I'll show you guys my let me see if I can pull it up. Liquidation eBay. Yeah, here's my liquidation store. I had like see, my feedback is 96.4. I think I sold like 400 grand or something the first year, and I made like 50. But yeah, no, this is scary. When you do liquidation, it is like very scary because there's so many returns. Let me see if I can why does this not pull up? Maybe my browser.
Why is your feedback so bad?
Because I didn't do any of the customer service myself. See, I have 41 negative feedback here. Didn't do any listing, didn't do any customer service, just let VAs do everything. So when you do that, your feedback is usually not very good, but it's really hard to keep basically no response. See, like ads, ad said 2XL, but sent small, useless, ignores my emails. But the thing is, I was getting like 50 customer service requests a day on really, really, really cheap stuff. So liquidation is not my favorite model. It's definitely works, but like you have to do some crazy volume. I tried it, and it is a little bit weird, but in a sense that you can't do it by yourself.
I'm finding it's almost impossible to do any of this completely by yourself. I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah, you have to have a really high average sale price if you want to do it completely solo.
And no family that cares what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it definitely is all time consuming. I've spent the better part of the last 7 months.
Yep. DFW Kicks is saying you've never dealt with returns. That's because you sell like collectible shoes. Like if you sell cheap Costco, Macy's style clothing, it's trash. It's not that good. So people are unhappy 50% of the time. It's just that they're lazy and they don't want to return it. I mean, for me, if I'm buying something online, it's $9 free shipping. I am not expecting very much. I actually know if I file for a return, they're gonna just let me keep it. There's a lot of fraud in that category. Why does buy it now draw people in? Rex Dex, the reason why buy it now is making people it's because of Amazon. Amazon is training people to buy things right now. And you know, if it's a small dollar amount, I don't want to wait for the auction to end personally. Maybe you guys can let me know in the chat if you prefer buy it now or auction. I prefer buy it now as a buyer. I didn't know that Germany was the second biggest eBay market. That makes sense though. I visited Europe last year, and Berlin was my favorite city. I love Germany. It's so cool. Yeah, I don't know. But after doing a liquidation model, Perry, that's why I think I'm so at peace now. If you just do that for like 6 months or a year, it's so crazy. The amount of volume that you're doing, it's more than 50 packages a day easily. Okay, when I was doing that, Dwayne, I was listing 100 new items a day.
Wow.
Every single day. It was awesome. Kind of.
All those returns would drive me crazy, man.
I know, no, it was crazy.
I get one and I'm ready to go nuts. 10 a day? No way.
Did you list those by yourself?
No,
Yes.
hell no. I did not list them. No, I didn't. I had 7. That was completely outsourced. No customer service.
Yeah, you had that. You're talking about the store you were just showing us. Yeah, you had everything was VA, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the store that I have 41 negative feedback, that's all 100% VAs.
I'm glad you tried it and didn't let us try it first.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. It's scalable. You can scale it to
I mean, well, you see the programs out there. Well, we can do it all for you. Just give it to us. But yeah, I've never really believed in a one size fits all kind of thing like that.
Yeah. Mark is saying he likes buy it now except for collectible coins. That is such an interesting market. There's the challenge coin market. Jeffrey, this is huge in New York, especially in New York State. The challenge coins, police officers, FBI, whatever those coins are.
Yeah, my son's military. He's in that challenge coin market as far as buying goes.
Those things are crazy. You can make your own in China and then auction them off one at a time. You have to know what you're doing, but that category is really cool. Challenge coins. Liquidation King hates auctions as a buyer. People steal from you in the last 15 seconds. That is true. Think about how frustrating it is to be bidding on an item for 7 or 10 days, and at the last second, they just steal from you.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah.
But let me show you. I
wouldn't know anybody that does anything like that.
I'm going to show you guys one more store that I like a lot.
I mean, it ain't stealing if you know what you're doing and you practice.
Let me see. I'm just saying it's a bad experience for buyers. So here's Lux Swap. This store has 20,000 followers, right? This store, 43,000 feedback, 100% positive. Very, very talented eBay seller. 100% auctions for the most part. You can see here, right? All auctions, all very, very clean photos. This person has a reputation in a brick and mortar store in New York City. So people go there, they drop off their stuff to get listed. It's all 10-day auction.
I can't think of many more foundation locations to have a brick and mortar store at selling what they're selling either. I mean, damn, that's perfect.
Yep. Amazing stuff. All auction.
But how much money did they put in to get it going?
None. This guy, he doesn't use any of his own money. Zero. Never. He has the model of never use your own money ever. Use other people's money. This is 100% consignment. See, 17 years your source for luxury consignment. He just never uses any of his own money. Just takes a flat fee when it sells. So pretty much anybody with a that knows what they're doing can start an eBay store with no money. So look at this. 537 listed, right? But look at the sold. 6,846. Crazy, right? So 100% auction. And you can see the prices are decent. They're not great. They're just like, this is kind of sad that this really rare vintage polo robe sold for $20. Like, this is probably, if they waited, maybe they would have sold it for 100. But this stuff is just, it's going through the store. It's moving. Everything is selling. 6,800 sold. That's about, I just talked to him recently. He does 110,000 a month in sales with no money out of pocket, 100% consignment.
Prices are really low. You're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, some are high.
It's moving. I see the moving thing. I mean, if it's moving brings attention. Attention brings more people, and you're liable to sell more of those items that you do make really good money on.
Here's a category of an item that if you didn't have perfect photos, you wouldn't sell it for as much as this person. So look at the photos, look really nice.
That looks sweet.
But $105, they go over, here we go. See, like, they grade everything. So 8.5 out of 10, pre-owned, material, silk, size. They do tagged size plus actual measurements. I think the store may have no returns. Yeah, no returns. Very cool.
That page is sweet.
You have to have a really clean, because the thing is, to be able to trust someone when you buy something this expensive and have no returns, you can see this label photo. It's really clean, right? It's really centered. Like, this is very unusual. Only a few really good sellers take the time to take this photo. This takes like, probably more than a minute just for the one photo to get him this clean.
And how many of them did he take before he got the shot he wanted?
Exactly. And they're all edited in Photoshop after.
Which I always thought was a big no-no.
It depends. If you're selling good stuff, you may want to do that. Ask him what his return rate. Yeah, I know. That's a good point, Zachariah. Sales, obviously, sales is not everything, guys. It's just one metric to go by.
No, it just feeds the bank account, which pays the bills and, puts money in the.
So Zachariah is saying that Cassini doesn't like logo and watermark on the pictures. Originally, eBay was going to try and ban that. They were going to try to suppress listings with the watermark, but I don't think they do that. Because otherwise a lot of their big sellers would just not sell on eBay. But anyway, there's an example of a store doing huge volume with no money out of pocket, just the work required and hiring the staff. It's kind of similar with the liquidation that Perry was talking about, because if you're buying these lots, it's like, I saw one today, 200 brand new clothing items for $300, including shipping. Like, that's really cheap. That's $1.50 each for brand new stuff. But I would say 80% of it is under $10 free shipping. Right? So do you get that lot? You kind of have to sell it because you need that $80 might be your profit on that lot. I don't know. Not super easy to do. Mrs. Hannah was asked to help sell an old gaming system by a family member. So I would never, ever do consignment for a family member. It would be really annoying. I would just buy it from them. Whatever you think it's going to sell for, you should just buy it for that amount, because otherwise it's not really worth it to, here, let me show you guys another store. If you have the capital, I wouldn't, I would just buy the stuff.
Do you end and relist your items, or only when necessary? Or
I don't, but it is a good model. Okay, you guys see this shirt, this store? Wow, nice shirt. Okay, another fantastic store. Look at the prices on the stuff in the store. It's insane. It's another 7-figure store. Really, really expensive stuff. Custom layout. And this is not consignment. This store cost over $100K to start, because he just bought everything. So see, the other model, he doesn't use any of his own money, so it's all consignment. This, it's all his money, so he wants top dollar for every single item.
yeah, right down the road from me.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. One state over.
One state over. So
yeah, he's Georgia.
Yeah. So see, none of these are stock photos, right? All actual photos. No editing. This store doesn't use Photoshop after. Most of the stuff he does have best offer, but pretty straightforward. Takes years to get into this. It's like, this is one of those categories like that you would need to take the time and really learn the niche. Like I don't want, I mean, I'm gonna tease Bill in the group as an example, but he would never start this store because it's too much upfront work. He wants to start a store that makes money right now, and this is not one of those kinds of stores. It takes a long time. You need to have a reputation of selling really expensive stuff and do a really good job. It takes years to build a store like this, and it's really expensive. But you're going to have, less competition, because 3,000 items in your store, all expensive stuff that you paid for and listed yourself. That's crazy. And this guy has a full-time job. Banging. Takes a really long time. This is a love affair. Let me go to the chat scene and see if anybody has any questions, and then we'll call it a night tonight. Sorry, today was just a store review day. But again, if you guys want to review, just email me. Yeah, so that's a good point, Gina. There's a difference between listing and relisting. Selling similar is a new listing with new everything, new search rankings. If you just relist an item, it's the same thing. And if eBay sees that it didn't do well the first time, they're not going to give you like a lot of traffic the second time, because traffic is really expensive. eBay pays for it. What's up, M. Hannah? Right now I'm doing store reviews if you're just in my Patreon, which is $12 a month. So I would just go to patreon.com/dailyrefinement. If you don't have a lot of cash, I would just do it yourself. Watch reviews like this. Look at your titles, descriptions, pricing. Online seller CPA says it seems like it is somewhat hard to make money buying one pallet at a time. I think so. I think you'd have to do a little bit higher. Sustainable Frugal Living is asking for the sell-through rate on the big store. It's 10%. So Dwayne, look at that. 10%, you own all the inventory, right? Getting top dollar for it. Other store, 100% sell-through rate, getting basically bottom dollar for it. But all of it moves.
But what is the number?
I don't know.
Not the percentage, but I mean, how much is this guy making versus? They're more than likely they're making somewhere close to the same amount of money. It's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah, to each their own. Both gentlemen over 10 years in the game. Both of them do gross 7 figures.
It works. Yeah, it works.
What are they actually net at the end of the day? I don't know. It's a good question. Dreamliners aren't grounded. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, I'm considering a couple of things. Maybe a Facebook group for people to chat. The Discord is too crazy. It's really difficult to navigate. And then the potentially a stream of office hours per se. Still working on that idea, but appreciate you guys' time. Everyone in the chat, smash the like button. I'll see you guys later. Take care.